This video is about how I got myself back into training. So it turns out our dopamine reward system works this way. After about a 6-month period where I was completely off, I wasn't able to get myself to the gym. What happened was in 2018, as some of you may know, my family business was destroyed by a tsunami and earthquake. What followed after that was a period of extreme high stress where I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, and I could just barely function. And I needed to get myself in position to handle all these problems. In the beginning, because of all of this stress, I wasn't able to go to the gym. I was working all day into the night, trying to solve these problems, trying to get the insurance done. Or first actually tried to get everyone safely off site. We had expats that were on site that we needed to extract out of the city. The airport was destroyed, so they had to go by land, which was a whole other crisis. And all of this kind of stuff carried on for months. At that time, I had debt collectors come and intimidate me. They didn't physically do anything, but it was just, intimidating me because they thought that we weren't going to pay up. Even though we told them we will pay up, it's just that we're still sorting out the insurance. But anyway, that's just how that was at that time. So I couldn't go to the gym. I didn't go to the gym, and this was a period of maybe about 5 or 6 months. And this is what I did to get myself back into the gym, because I realized that feeling sorry for myself and not finding time to train wasn't doing myself, my family, or anyone else any good. These were the steps that I took, and I didn't know it at the time, but after the fact, I found out why this works. So what I did was, the night before, I always just packed my bags, because I thought that if I did it the night before, then the next morning I wouldn't have to think about it, and it was just already there, and I could just go straight to the gym. Now, at that time, the program that I was using, it was called CompTrain, by a CrossFit coach at the time called Ben Bergeron. It was his company. So I already had the program there. And what I would do was look at the program. If I had time the night before, I would do that. If not, then the morning before going to the gym. But I wanted to look at the program and kind of prepare myself for what I was going to do. I didn't feel like doing it, but looking at what was coming up allowed me to think about where the strain was going to be, what was going to be hard about it, and sort of like plan ahead, look forward to what's coming up in that training session. During the training, in the beginning, I was getting, all these phone calls, people looking for me, all this work stuff, and so it was crazy. So it sounds simple, but I just switched my phone on airplane mode. The CompTrain program was delivered on an app, so I had to be on my phone to see what the program was. Eventually what I did was I just wrote down the program onto a physical book so that I didn't have to be with my phone and I won't be distracted. And the other thing that I found to be very useful was to sort of ground myself, so feel myself doing the small things. So putting on my shoes at the gym was one of them. I got the barbell out, feeling the barbell, using my eyes and looking at where I am. That brought me into the present. And then at that time, I also realized my brain was thinking like not there. That it wasn't in the gym. It wasn't present. It wasn't doing the workout. It was thinking about stuff, at the office, what I have to do after. So when I realized that was happening over time, I was just noticing it and then bringing it back to, okay, this rep, this rep, this rep. So bringing it back to the present and focusing on what can be done in the present. Then after the workout, I would record my score, and that always felt good, right? Because, well, it was hard and I did it, and I record my score, but also to notice how I felt. In those beginning days, it was so difficult for me, because it was just so much stress. I couldn't think, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't eat, could barely function. But after each workout, I did feel a difference. I did feel, mentally sharper, ready to take on the tasks. And I did feel like I was going to be able to overcome this massive challenge that was in front of me. And all I needed to do was get myself in the best position to handle just that one day. And the workout in the morning allowed me to do that. So after the fact, so this happened, over time, and I was able to get myself back on track. And I always just thought that it was just, getting yourself to the gym and using this willpower, and that's what, got me back on track. What I later learned through the Huberman Lab podcast was that process actually is a way for us to gain access to more dopamine. Dopamine, for those of you that don't know, is basically a chemical in our brain that allows us to feel motivation. And what we want to do is to create a sequence of events that allow us to gain more access to dopamine so that we can be more motivated, which is what we need when we find it difficult to get ourselves into the gym and get ourselves into our training. So what Huberman teaches us is to actually split the task into 3 sections. So there is the pre-execution phase, there is the execution phase, and then the post-execution phase. In the pre-execution phase, what we want to do is to look forward to the task, to look forward to the thing that we're going to do, in this case, going to the gym. So what I did was preparing the gym bag and looking at the program, and if you want to as well, look at where in the program you think might be more challenging and kind of mentally prepare yourself so looking forward to the training. That is going to start to increase your dopamine a little bit because you're looking forward to the thing. Then in the moment, execute to the best of your ability with whatever you can do in the present. So the workout itself, try and stay as present as you can, looking to execute just 1 rep at a time, 1 piece of the workout at a time. Every time you notice that your mind has wandered, just be like, oh, well, that's, I'm thinking about work, I'm thinking about other stuff. At this moment, I need to be here, I need to be working out, I need to be focused on this. So practice bringing back to the present. I was able to use techniques like using my eyes, I was using techniques like feeling the physical touch of the barbell, grounding my feet and things like that, just paying mindful attention, careful mindful attention to the thing that you are doing in the present. And that will gain a little bit more access to dopamine. Then after you finish is the post-execution phase. So in the post-execution phase, we want to look at whether or not we achieved the results. For me at the time, the result was that I wasn't chasing a particular number or a time for a workout or anything like that. It was just wanting to see a score, to say, okay, I've done this. So for me at that time, just recording a score allowed me to feel good already. I wasn't tied into a specific outcome, and that, as it turns out, is actually very important, because if we are only tied into a specific outcome and that outcome doesn't appear, we don't get it, our dopamine levels will actually fall. So it turns out our dopamine reward system works in this way. When we expect something and that thing happens, our dopamine levels increase. So feel great, feel motivated. When we expect something and that outcome doesn't happen, our dopamine levels actually drop. So we'll feel down, we'll feel depleted, we'll feel like a loser. And there's a third scenario where we don't expect the outcome, but we receive the outcome. The dopamine levels will actually increase further and higher than if we did expect something and we attain that outcome. So knowing this, what we want to do is create a sequence of events that allows us to gain more access to the dopamine. And the way we do that is to tie the reward with the effort, so not just with the outcome. And so to summarize, pre-execution phase, prepare for the gym, prepare your bag, look at the workout that you're going to do. Pre-execution phase, that will increase the dopamine a little bit. In the execution, stay present, stay grounded, stay mindful, do the thing one step at a time to the best of your ability. Dopamine will increase a little bit more. Then post-execution phase, notice how you feel, notice the score or the outcome. If you do get the outcome, amazing, your dopamine levels will increase again and you'll feel great. If not, it's okay because you've already associated the reward with the whole process of doing the thing. So hopefully for those of you who are finding it hard to get back into the gym after a long time off or just starting out, this process can help you get more access to dopamine and feel motivated to get started on your fitness journey or get started getting back into the gym.